Hey guys, so this weekend was probably one of the best weekends and worst weekends of my life at the same time. Best for personal reasons and worst for societal reasons. So, my husband and I were driving on the highway, and because we don't live in the South or the West, I've fortunately have never had to see in person a slaughter truck with the animals who are being loaded and transported into slaughterhouses for people's disgusting consumption. And coming face to face with that, it devastated me, and it absolutely lit a fire in me, which I already have had, but that really sealed the deal and I'll never forget it. So we're driving past a slaughter truck, and they had all of these cows who were likely spent dairy cows, mother cows. And it was a 2-story truck, and we drove up close to them, and all of the cows were shackled and crammed in together, and so crammed that these beings were not able to even turn around. And while near the truck, there was one cow who, because there's tiny little slits, and it's amazing what they don't want you to see. In the words of Paul McCartney, if slaughterhouses were a good place, they would all have glass walls, but they're typically places who are smack in the middle of nowhere, and they're completely closed off, and it's muffled so you can't hear your meals screaming. I personally don't eat food that screams. So I made eye contact with this one cow, or this cow made eye contact with me, and this animal looked so defeated and like it had never seen a moment of kindness in its short life. And I think that it's really easy to, think of these animals as a whole, and we generalize them, and you don't ever actually stop to see the individual in them. And in reality, they all have their own personalities, just like your cats and dogs. And even though humans favor cats and dogs, we're still not even really that kind to them when it comes down to it. And so I can only imagine what goes on with those slaughterhouse workers. When my husband passed that truck, I flipped off the driver. I don't care. And I looked at him with so much hatred in me. And he had this smug little look. And it is so sickening to me that we do this to them. For what? For 5 minutes of pleasure? You have 5 minutes of pleasure. That's their whole life. That's their whole existence that they're bred into for you. And it's sick. And there's so much vegan food out there, delicious and affordable vegan food out there at that. Seitan, tofu, there's so much. And the fact that we're still doing this barbaric shit, it's disgusting, and it makes me feel like, as a human being, we're a part of this supremacy. They have feelings, and they're fully sentient. They're well aware. They know where they are. Cows can actually smell blood up to like 7 or 8 miles away. They know when they're being murdered. They know when they're next in line, and they're fucking petrified. And a lot of the times, the humane tools that they use, they're not humane, which that's bullshit, because there's no humane way to murder to begin with. But even so, if you want to go off of that argument, do you have any idea how many times those stun guns fail? Or the people, they get desensitized to it, so they don't give a shit, and they just do whatever with those animals. I saw footage of inside of a slaughterhouse, and there was this cow chained up, about to be slaughtered, and the poor baby was so thirsty. There was a sink nearby. She turned the faucet on with her tongue because she's intelligent, and she's drinking drops of the water, and the man slaughtering her looked and saw, and he turned the faucet off. You lack so much compassion that you can't even afford that cow, what, a few sips of water in its final moments? So, if you think that you need that hamburger, or that bacon, or those chicken nuggets, or some dumb shit, which by the way, there are delicious vegan alternatives, if you take a second to actually look, that was an individual, that was someone who wanted to live, that was someone who wanted to exist, that was someone who was scared to die and fully knew where they were at. And they can't speak, and we do what? We take advantage of that because they can't speak. And so, what I'm begging any of you to do, if this even touches one person, I would be content, because if you stop eating animals, the average person saves about 200 animals per year by not eating them or eating their byproducts. So I'm begging you, please consider going vegan, be a voice for the voiceless, and don't be a part of this supremacy anymore, because I promise you they want to live. They want to live just like I do, or just like you do. They're not worth the snack. Thank you for coming to my video. This is going to take a while for me to get over what I saw, and there are vegan advocates who have to see way worse than what I've seen, way more graphic shit in their face 24/7, and I salute Joey Carpstrong, I salute Gary, I salute the big vegan advocates, and as a vegan, I also want to say, if you're another vegan, please take care of your mental health, because this shit really takes a toll on you if you have basic human empathy. Alright, that's the end of my video. Rant over. Bye, guys.